All right, guys. Most of the people are here. Okay. Thank you, Chloe. Okay. Thank you very much. I am recording this so that people who can't log in right now can go back and watch it. So I had this thought, this idea, and I wanted us. Oops, can't hear me. Okay, can other people hear me? I'm not mute.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, Cassie. Maybe turn your volume up. I'm not sure. Okay. First off, I made some comments on some of you guys' work. So make sure you check your work. I would make those corrections before I give you a grade. Yeah, and so pay attention to the comments that I asked. Make sure that you are paying very, very, very close attention to your instructions, okay? Because sometimes some of the problems you guys have is you'll do your work, but you miss out a big chunk of your points because you didn't pay close attention to your instructions. So read everything very, very carefully. All right, so I had this idea, and I wanted us to, we can't really do Expert Friday the same way we were. So I know you're all stuck at home, and you got a lot of stuff in the house. And so I want to do engineering challenges every Friday. So what this looks like is, I'm going to walk you through it today. It'll be much quicker every other Friday. What this looks like is, I will give you a challenge, and then you have the rest of the week to complete that challenge. So it's due next Friday, okay? It's 400 points, and I need you to put some effort into it. Every week will be different. And as a matter of fact, if you want to email me some ideas for some challenges you might like to do, I'll take them into consideration. I'm not saying we'll do them, but I'll definitely think about it. This week's challenge is you are going to create a fishing bait, and you're going to try, if you have an opportunity to catch a fish with that fishing bait. So before we go any further, I want to try to share my screen. No. Good morning, Kayla Hill. Okay, here we go. All right, here's your assignment. If you cannot see my screen, then turn your microphone on and say, Coach Albert, I can't see your screen. Okay, good. So you all should be able to see it. Let's go over this real fast. So, Friday engineering challenge, design challenge, catch a fish. Okay, you got 4 main rules. Rule 1, your design must include 4 different materials. Now, those materials do not include the fishing line, okay? So the fishing string you use is not included in that material. It can include a hook, but not a fishing line. I don't know what that was. It sounded like a trash can fell over. Okay, rule number 2, your design must be able to hold up in the water for at least 5 casts. So that means when you throw it in the water, and I don't know if you're going to let it sit there, you're going to reel it in, whatever. You got to do it 5 times to complete rule number 2. Rule number 3, your design must be able to be tied to a fishing string. Rule number 4, in paragraph form, write a report outlining the engineering design process and how you use each step in your fishing bait design. Include pictures of your design and bait in the report. Now, some of you may be saying, Holy Toledo, hold up, I don't know what the engineering design process is. You are in luck, my friends, because if you will look right here, there is a link at the bottom of the page. If you click that link, it takes you to this page. This is a NASA website. It is a very well-built website, and it does a great job of outlining the engineering design process. Now, I'm not just going to throw you to the wolves. Obviously, I'm going to go over this with you real fast. So, if you'll notice, the engineering design process is a circle. It's not a straight up and down line, kind of like the scientific method. You don't have a spot you have to start in. Technically, You could start in any of these places and then go to the next step. Okay, we for our projects will be starting with the ask portion of the EDP. Yes, the engineering design process is also known as the EDP for short. So we are asking a question. What question are we asking? We are asking, how can you use materials that you have available to you to create a successful fishing bait? At this point, you're imagining things, right? So some of you probably already have ideas in your head. So that means you've kind of moved on to this portion. That's fine. After we get through this conference call and after you get started on your project, you will plan a design. So that's the next step. You'll plan what you'll do, and then you will physically create that plan. So you'll put the plan into action. In our case, you will create a fishing bait. After that, you will experiment. How will you experiment? If you have access, you will cast your bait into a pond, a lake, a river, maybe a ditch. I don't know. There's no really limitation on that. If you do not have access to any of those things, if you do not have access to standing bodies of water that have fish in them, then maybe you'll just have to fill your bathtub up and see if it works. I don't know. You're probably not going to catch a fish, but at least you've completed your assignment. After you experiment, you're going to improve your design. So maybe the first time you throw it in there, maybe it falls apart. You're not doomed. It's not over. You can improve on your design. And so you ask, how can I improve my design? And you imagine, and you plan, and then you create, and then you experiment again. And maybe it lasts for 2 or 3 casts. And you say, you know what, it's not quite good enough. Improve on it again, so on and so forth. Okay? If you go to the website, I'm not going to go over each one of these bullet points, but it's there for you to go over yourself. And then it has a great little video that I would encourage you to watch. As a matter of fact, you probably better watch it. Okay? Good job. Sweet. So there's that. Now let's discuss our rubric. This is where you'll be graded. Okay? It is worth 100 points. This tells you exactly how those 100 points are laid out. We're not going to go through the whole middle part, but we'll focus on the zeros and the 20s because that's what's really important. So you'll be graded on your materials. The only way you get a 0 for materials is if you don't make anything. You don't come to the table with nothing. It's just blank. To get a 20, you used at least 4 different materials. Fishing string does not count. Okay, pay close right there. Boom. Fishing string does not count. Okay, watertight. There's a typo here, so I'll discuss that. If you get a 0, it falls apart as soon as it hits the water. So like if you say you're gonna catch a fish and you just dip a hook in like, I don't know, some like grease and you throw it in the water, yeah, that's not gonna work. You get a 0. Okay. But 20, it holds up. It says for 25 casts. It's supposed to be for 5+ casts. Okay, so 5 or more casts. If you can cast it and reel it in 5 times, 6 times, 5 times, you get a 20. Good job. Okay. Attaches to fishing line. You get a 0 if it cannot be attached to a fishing line for whatever reason. Maybe, I don't know, it's too heavy and it just breaks the string.